What's up, everybody? Welcome into this live episode of Big Drive Energy, brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, as always. I'm here, Big Drive Spence, with my brother, Big Drive Mitch, and we've got the legend, Henry Chisholm, at Henry Chisholm on Twitter. Hank. Hank's holding on to a bet here, fellas. And I feel kind of like a dick because the whole day Mitchell and I have been cheering against Phil Mickelson. And for the record, I want to start out with, we don't hate Phil Mickelson.
No, we just
want this to be close.
We just want a fun golf tournament.
We're currently watching Phil head up the 18th fairway with a 2-shot lead. He's sitting at 6 under, trying to
not piss it away.
Mm-hmm. But for the record, everybody at the top of the leaderboard today has kind of pissed down their leg. Phil Mickelson today.
Koepka got back to 4 though, at least.
Yeah, so Phil Mickelson today is 1 over par. Louis Oosthuizen, 1 over par. Brooks Koepka, 1 over par. And everybody else in the field was wrecking it. I mean, Abe Ancer shot 64 this morning.
Yeah, and I think the wind obviously has something to do with that. I think the wind was down a little bit in the morning. But even this final stretch, they should really be able to get after it. I don't know if there's some sort of nerves showing here, but every single hole 15 and on is straight downwind, so you would like to think they were going to score pretty well on that.
Yeah, so the wind, for those of you guys watching the championship and saw that graphic today, the wind has changed considerably from rounds. So 1 and 2 is relatively the same, changed yesterday, and now it changed again today. And Phil, the only reason this even matters, they're all playing the same golf course, but Phil Mickelson's lefty, obviously. So that it
plays a lot different.
It does. It plays an entirely amount different for him than it would a right-handed golfer.
Absolutely.
And watching him roll up the fairway, it looks like...
Look at this crowd.
This
Holy
is great.
shit.
How great is this? If you guys are watching the tournament along
this is not COVID
the Avs are at intermission, they're
safe.
balling, they're up 2-1. So flip over to the PGA Championship.
The CDC is watching this just cringing.
No, I think the CDC's cool with it now.
You think so?
Either masked or vaxxed. For sure, all of them. Definitely.
Is Phil in the middle of the fairway? Is Koepka left? Or no?
No, I think he is. I think he is left.
All right,
there's so many people over there.
Let's talk about how weird it is that they can use rangefinders now. Not from a standpoint of it being actually weird, but from a standpoint of seeing them like pop this Bushnell out.
Yeah.
Like if you're Bushnell now, you have to get that PGA Tour level sponsorship.
I think they already have that in the works.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think Bushnell is basically paying all these guys, paying the PGA Tour to use their rangefinder.
It is crazy though to see. And it's also crazy it wasn't a thing for so long.
Oh, I know, right?
Like the fact that your average golfer can go out there and know exactly how far they are from the green, and we make the pros like do math in a little book based on the notes they took beforehand. Like, since when does that make sense? You know?
Yeah, like it's so. Golf is trying to become new school in so many ways, and then you watch the PGA Tour and they have to wear pants. They have to. I mean, they obviously have to play by the rules. That makes complete sense. But a lot of things on the PGA Tour, especially the whole rangefinder thing, it's so old school. It is so completely old school.
Yeah, we as golf players and golf pros, and Hank as a legitimate golfer.
Some days
we're trying to bring in this new era of golf where it's okay to wear shorts, like on the PGA Tour. Did you know they still can't do that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Only because it's weird every time.
During practice rounds, they can now.
Yeah.
They're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing. And,
okay, here's Phil's second shot. Oh, you dick.
It is a beaut.
Center of the green.
Oh, closer than center of the green. He's like 15 feet. Look at that crowd.
This crowd is going.
There's a borderline mosh pit behind Phil Mickelson.
8.
Oh, wait, can we talk about real quick? Did you see that dude touch him on the shoulder the other day?
No.
Phil freaked the fuck out. Like, blew his top.
Really?
Doesn't like having a shoulder touch.
And he's almost like Shooter McGavin. Like, he's always giving these, like, thumbs up and, like, hat tips. And then some dude goes like this to him, and he's like, whoa. Like, you saw him. He's like, don't fucking touch me. He literally got in the guy's face, like, freaked out. It was hilarious. He, like, probably hates babies. He hates dogs. Yep. But, you know, that's Phil Mickelson.
You know, I never liked Phil growing up. Like, so I born in 1997, like that's Tiger's start. And so all that's kind of like happening as I was growing up. Like Tiger was golf to me, and Phil was the guy who tried to stop Tiger. But as Phil has progressed, like it seems like every time he has a good tournament where he's like relevant or he does something with like Tiger and they're doing like the match or whatever, every time he just grows on me. And at this point, I'm a full-on Phil stan.
Yeah, honestly,
he's progressively gotten cooler.
I think we talked about it in a podcast a couple weeks ago or maybe a couple months ago, that the match and like getting those guys mic'd up on the course in shorts, chill, it changes your perspective of these dudes, because they're playing for $100,000, which is pocket change to them.
I was gonna say 100.
Yeah, but I mean the overall concept of how they act on the golf course, this is a life-changing win for Phil Mickelson. Yeah, he's in the golf record books now if he holds on to this.
He's setting yet another record.
And so obviously he's going to be uptight. Like he during this, he's going to be uptight. He's going to be serious. He has to. Dude,
look at this scene on the 18th.
It's incredible.
How cool is that?
Phil getting lost in the crowd even.
He's probably so annoyed.
He's probably getting some major crowding vibes, like he's say, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, step back, please.
And if you guys hear all this background noise from this podcast and this live show,
you see
we
this
are clearly at the DNVR bar, the best spot in Denver to watch a game.
It's a
I'm
packed
looking
house.
Downstairs right now, it's packed. If a goal happens, we may just stop talking for about 2 minutes because it's insane in here.
I just have to hope that I don't scream into the mic. I have to remember to push the mic away before I scream.
I know, right?
If you see us all shove the mics away,
just break Allie's eardrums.
It's 3-1 abs.
Yeah,
at that point.
That wouldn't be good.
If the mics move away, it's goal abs, and they're up 3-1. But
dude, there's just nothing better than that.
Look,
like golf is just so special in the way that this is how things end.
Look at this.
So
he's like a rock star.
Phil Mickelson is fighting his way through a mosh pit to go try to knock in a putt to win a major.
That is absolutely insane. How cool is this scene?
This feels pretty normal again.
Yeah,
I know. It's starting to feel like normal life is kind of
like watching
back.
the Masters last year in November when it was nobody, just TV cameras, like watching sporting events with nobody there, and then there is about 1,000 to 2,000 people within a 100 square foot radius right there.
Yeah. And people talk about the environment and the impacts of that. Very real. Very, very real. At the same time, though, that shot that Phil hit off the tee, like, I wonder if that got stopped by people's feet before it went all the way into the boards. Like, there's real tangible impacts as well.
Oh, 100%. I saw on Twitter that it said, oh, Phil's got a clean lie here. Imagine that. And that's something that we actually we had a whole podcast on, like, the effects of the crowd in golf. And people don't think about two things when they play golf with their buddies on a weekend morning or whatever, is you're never losing a ball when there's a crowd around. 100% not, because somebody saw it, somebody walked over it, that people are running right to it as you hit it. And number two, that rough is no longer as penalizing.
Yeah.
You're hitting out of trampled down grass.
Yeah, you're almost better off missing it 20, 30 yards offline, because that means you're getting into the spectator area. Like, there is holes out there where guys legitimately aim for spectators. So you just need to know where those spots are and don't stand there, because you're liable to get hit in the head. And another thing that we talked about during COVID on one of our pods was how the crowds affect players. And I think Phil is one of the dudes that really feeds off having a crowd, because he's so into himself. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm into him too. I can't blame him.
No, I'm not knocking him. Like, I feel that. But when everybody else is pumping you up, you're like, I'm so good. And everybody else is telling you're so good. You're like, I really am that good. So it's kind of like a reaffirming thing of like, yes, I'm playing really well, and the crowd loves it. Phil's a crowd pleaser. You can look at his sunglasses and tell me he's not a crowd pleaser. Oh, yes, I apologize.
I had forgotten how when you get big groups of people together for things like this, they're all just holding up their phone. Nobody's watching and not make this putt. It's crazy to see, like, everybody's arm like reached up as high as they can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It does suck.
Everybody just wants that moment forever.
It's like, guess what? CBS's cameras are better than yours.
Yeah, I think you can watch it on YouTube forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody just wants to say they were there.
Yep.
So this will become Phil Mickelson's first PGA Tour win since 2019 when he holds on here. But he dominates on the Champions Tour. So he's been winning a frequent amount. If he goes and plays a Champions Tour event, he's winning that thing. And he's out hitting those. I mean, we saw it on 16. He had a 366-yard drive.
Longest of the day.
And it was way longer than Brooks Koepka.
Yeah, and he's
50 years old. He's been walking for 3.5, 4 hours. And Brooks Koepka is probably one of the most in-shape players on the PGA Tour, other than maybe Bryson
Well, look at his
DeChambeau.
knee. Look at him trying to mark his ball right now.
Yeah.
He's still injured.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he's hurt or injured, but he's definitely
Are you hurt or injured, buddy?
he's
He's going to collect over $1 million after this T2 finish here at a major.
That's the worst feeling $1 million paycheck I think he's ever had in his life.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about how the round unfolded for these two, because when you get into final round at a major, so we tweeted this out this morning. If you guys don't follow us on Twitter, do it now at DNVR_golf. So this will be now, because Phil was leading going into this, the 100th straight major that somebody won if they were within 4 shots of the lead starting Sunday.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah, it's not a comeback type of one, and Tiger has 18 of those.
Well, because in majors, getting out to a hot start is so crucial, because there's not going to be huge swings one way or the other. I mean, unless the leader comes back to the field completely, but you're not going to see a guy, you're rarely going to see a guy.
Oh, is he going to make it?
Okay, so Phil is officially going to win the
PGA
2021
Championship.
PGA Championship at Kiowa.
Wow.
And he's going to cash the ticket for
Shout
Hank.
out-
Let's
Shout out
go.
Kiowa. Congrats, Hank.
Thank you. I
Congratulations.
made some money today.
Yeah, that a boy.
On DraftKings, the DraftKings
On-
Sportsbook
on-
app.
yes.
Got a boost.
You seem crazy stoked about it, dude.
I mean, it's
Chill out a little
It's
bit.
sunk in for a while. I hit Avs win 5-1 that last game. This is what I do.
Yeah, you're just building. You're
Phil
banking.
without a hat on's a rough scene.
I mean,
The-
he's a 50-year-old man.
The forehead tan.
Most angles.
Yeah. He's been fasting for like 14 days leading up to this event. Just drinking coffee.
Yeah.
So Phil Mickelson is now officially the oldest major winner in golf history. And the thing is, he had to, like, this course, let's talk about Kiowa for a second. This course is, Bryson DeChambeau came out, who he's loud, but he studies as much. He's a scientist. He studies as much as anybody on tour. And he said this is by far the hardest course he's played on tour ever. And you can see that with, how many guys do we have? Well, so we have the winner at 6 under, which you never see anymore.
Yeah.
There was guys shooting, just last week, there was guys shooting multiple rounds, single rounds, lower than 6 under.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we have
No,
1, 2,
it's-
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I would honestly say that him finishing at 6 under is super impressive, because all the other guys, like, he was 2 clear of the field. Or was it 3? He went by 3?
At one point, he was 2 clear of the field.
Well, he ended up, I mean, at one point he was 4 or 5 shots up.
yeah, yesterday,
he was up 5.
Yesterday on 12,
10-5.
he was clearing the field. He was
Also,
lapping the field.
let's talk a little bit about on Friday when we saw him at the top of the leaderboard. I was like, this is a good storyline. Let's go! Avs just scored. Sorry about that.
Also, now might be the time to say I've got the Avs winning this one 4-1. So
Get out.
something to keep an eye on.
You're an empty
Something
netter
to keep
away.
an eye on.
Let's go. So yes, what were we just talking about?
We're talking about how hard Kiowa was, and then having Phil at the top of the leaderboard on Friday.
Oh yeah, everybody thought it was like a nice storyline. Nobody was like he's not. Nobody thought he was going to finish this thing off.
Yeah, this is actually great. I'm going to read this. One of my buddies sent me this because he bet on Phil Mickelson, or what he thought was Phil Mickelson, in the PGA Championship. It ended up not being. So on this article from Yahoo Sports on May 21st, Friday night, Dan Agnew. I'm sorry to call him out. I'm just citing a source here.
Yep.
This is the title. Phil Mickelson is a nice story at the PGA Championship, but not a good bet.
Oh,
And he goes into basically saying, here it is right here. So I'm reading the story from Dan Agnew, Yahoo Sports. It may be tempting to see Phil Mickelson atop the leaderboard after 2 rounds and toss a few dollars on him to win the whole thing, especially at the current odds of 1,200 to 1.
Yeah.
Or plus 1,200, 12 to 1, excuse me. Why
Plus
not,
1,200
right?
to 1.
How
Good
cool
Lord.
would it be to see Lefty win his 6th major at 50? The thing is, there's a reason the sportsbooks have him as the 4th favorite to win the tournament, despite co-leading along Louis Oosthuizen. And even today, I looked at the DraftKings Sportsbook app this morning. Phil Mickelson's got a 1-shot lead, and he was plus 300 to win the tournament, and Brooks
That is
Koepka was the
insane.
favorite.
Yeah. I mean, and that's
Why did I not look at those odds?
That's why I pulled the trigger. So now might be a good time to say this. So my strategy for golf tournaments, first of all, to not bet on them unless I'm going to watch them. That's the big one.
100%.
But then if I am going to watch, I take somebody before the tournament, and I just take one more winner every day. You wind up with 5 guys, like 5 units on it, and if you hit one, it works. And so my bet was after that second round, when he was in the lead, he was, like he said, plus 1,200. With DraftKings Sportsbook, there was a 25% boost every day. I got him at plus 1,500. And you see him up at the top of the leaderboard compared to some of these guys. I think Brooks was like plus 400 at the time. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. We're going with Phil. He's playing good golf.
That's robbery.
Yeah.
That's plus 1,500 getting the leader going into the weekend. Like, that, that just doesn't add up.
Well, and it's one of those things where you look at history, and no one's ever won a major at 50, and you think it can't happen. And it's one of those, you just look at, you're like, all right, what? Who else?
None of it makes sense.
Brooks Koepka's won PGAs. Like, I think he's won 2 PGAs in the last 4 years or
5 years.
2 of 3.
No, he was trying to become the first ever player to win 3 of 4 PGAs.
Yeah.
Shows you what I know.
And so you're like, all right, this is obvious. Brooks Koepka is the favorite here. And getting into the round today and how it's transpired is the first hole, there was a 2-shot swing. And Phil Mickelson was immediately down a stroke to Brooks Koepka, and you thought, okay, Brooks' foot on the gas here, this thing is over. And Phil fought his way back, and we tweeted this earlier from the DNVR golf account. In the first 10 holes today, there was 5 minimum 2-shot swings. One hole there was a 3-shot swing, because Phil Mickelson on the front 9
through 7 holes had 1 par.
Through 9 holes had 2 pars.
That's insane.
He was either making birdies or bogeys, and he ends up shooting 1 over par 73, but he held on. And I think the thing that kind of sucks is Louis Oosthuizen, who got to 6-7 under today at one point, ended up rinsing one
Nobody
again.
really made that push that we were hoping for.
No.
Like, we weren't rooting against Phil, but it's always fun to see somebody make a charge, even if they don't win. Like, to see Brooks really push and make a few birdies coming down the stretch, or to see Louis not pump one into the water like he did off the tee at the Zurich Classic.
He does that.
Like 3 weeks ago. And he's one of those guys where he's made an absolutely great living on the PGA Tour, but every time you see him on TV, like you're saying, he's pumping it in the water, he's hitting it in the fescue, he's 3-putting. It's just one of those things where...
And then still somehow 5 under.
Yeah.
It's like, how is this happening also?
I think he just gets up to the edge of where he gets into like a really good position, and then he totally pisses it away, and then he gets back there.
Yeah.
It's like double bogey, birdie, 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 double bogey. It's like 2 steps back, 1 step forward kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the shot of the day today on 5.
I lost it.
Phil Mickelson.
Unbelievable. Like, it was an
Phil
unbelievable
Mickelson.
shot. Like, it was legit.
Some people have said I have his wedge game.
Wedge game, Phil.
Is that right?
Wedge game, Philly Mickelson.
I did chip in at Flying Horse on the very first hole,
and I did on the last hole
to set the tone early.
I shot
that
at
was
101.
Luck. Mine was very. I shot at 101.
Yep.
Yeah, that was quite the day.
It was.
But yes, Phil shot on 5. That is why you never count him out, because his short game is that good. And short game is one of those things where age does not matter. Your ball striking can... I mean, how many of us have played with that 75-year-old dude who just hits it dead straight, hits it like 200, maybe 150 yards, 200 yards, and then just chips and putts his ass off and shoots like high 70s, low 80s, and you're like, I don't understand how you get it around the course.
Yep.
I mean, Phil is just doing that times 10. And he's also bombing it off the tee.
Again, we already said this, but that drive on 15,
Because I looked at you and I was like, oh my God, Brooks got it out there.
Yeah.
361. And Phil hits it and it rolls 5 yards past him.
Yeah.
I was like, are you shitting me?
Longest drive of the day, just ahead of Bryson DeChambeau. From Phil Mickelson.
Yeah. And who knows what the wind looked like when DeChambeau.
For sure.
But no, I mean, the fact that it was the longest drive on that hole was insane.
Well, shout out your company. You can talk about a little bit about the Callaway Chrome Soft X.
Oh, yeah, big shouts.
The Epic Flash.
So I am a Callaway staff guy. I don't quite hit it as well as Phil does, but the ball is amazing. Like John Rahm, and I know John Rahm kind of played like shit this week, but John Rahm was adamant about having the Chrome Soft X in his bag by the Masters last year.
So like John Rahm, for the record, he finished T8.
Oh, well, what was he, +1?
-1. He shot
okay.
68 today.
Okay, so he had a good round today. Yeah, he's one of those dudes who does that in majors. Like, even if he's not in contention, he'll play well on Sunday and kind of backdoor his way into the top 10. Like, so
That's a skill.
yeah.
To know you're out of the tournament and be able to go do that, that's impressive.
See, that I would go two ways with that because it's a very freeing feeling when you know you really can't win. So you just free it up. Like, you just swing free. There's no tension in your swing. But at the same time, like you said, it's easy to cash it in at that point.
Yep.
So you really kind of have to keep your head down for one more day. But if you're in that spot where you're, say, T40, T30, and you're 10 back of the lead, you're like, if I throw out 4 or 5 under, I'm going to make a big jump up the leaderboard, but I still have no chance of winning.
So that brings up an interesting point, and I'm just like kind of looking at the leaderboard here and looking at where players finished, because we saw some low ones today. We saw Abe Answer shoot 64. We saw Justin Rose was 5 under through the first 9 holes. Okay? So this is a really interesting part of this. Basically, the PGA Championship, most tournaments end up like this, but especially majors. All right, so when we finish the leaderboard up, we have Phil Mickelson, Louis Oosthuizen, Brooks Koepka. 1 and both T2. Those are the only 3 players that shot over par today until you get down to T8, Kevin Streelman, who was in 4th. So you have basically the winner of the tournament, T2 and T2, both shooting over par. A guy finished T8 and shot over par who started the day in 4th. All 4 players that started the day 1, 2, 3, and 4 shot over par today when guys were shooting 64. And then you go down the rest of the leaderboard. Shane Lowry, T4, 3 under. Patty Harrington, 3 under. Harry Higgs, 2 under.
Oh, today. The big rig.
Paul
Fun
Casey,
to watch.
1 under. Abraham Answer, 7 under. Justin Rose, 5 under. Morikawa, Rahm, both 4 under. Zalatoris, Scheffler, both 2 under. And then Finau and Fowler, both 1 under today, because they weren't in the lead. They didn't have the pressure of golf when you have a lead in a major is unlike any other.
You have way too much time to think.
Yeah, and right there, those show it. Do you think Abe Answer, starting today at +6, 12 shots off the lead, gave a shit about what he was doing out there? No, he just fired at pins.
Yep.
He went out there and balled out, and he shot 64. This is the best round of the tournament.
Yeah.
And it's always funny to see when those guys come out, and he backdoored his way into a T8, a top 10 finish at a major when he was 6 over par going into Sunday.
And next PGA Championship rolls around, and we're like, who's the top 10 at last year's PGA? I would not in a million years guess Abraham Answer. I would not guess John Rahm, like I was just talking shit about him, and he's T8 also. So, yeah, there's guys where it's kind of like garbage time. Golf's equivalent of garbage time. You know you're not going to win. You still make a few threes here or whatever. You still make a few birdies, and you come in with a nice round, and nobody remembers that you did that because
for sure
the headlines are such a big deal. So
yeah, because the headline is Phil Mickelson at 50 winning a major.
Exactly.
That doesn't happen.
I won't even remember who finished second.
I mean, I'll remember for
you'll remember me talking shit about Phil Mickelson.
I will die with that.
I'll
die with that. Yep.
Openly rooting against Phil Mickelson.
Yep.
So we can have
that. Look at that man.
No, he's such a gem. Like, I really do enjoy the guy, but
Well, so we've been talking about the winners. Let's talk about some guys that struggled this week. So first of all, you had to make the cut in this tournament. You had to shoot +5 in the first 2 days. That's it. You had to fire 74, 75
That's
to make
it.
the cut. I mean, I'm just saying, this is how hard. This is a test to Kiowa.
Yeah.
Like how hard that course really was. And you have guys. Let's scroll all the way down here. Before the withdrawals, so John Daly, who, by the way, chipped in for birdie and was leading this tournament on
For
the
the
first
record,
hole.
first leader
He shot
of the
85,
tournament.
86.
Sheesh.
Tyler Colett, 88, 82.
He had to have been a PGA pro.
Most likely, yes. I would think that was
So
the case.
for those
That's
of you
so
who,
cool.
those of you who don't know, the PGA Championship, I'm not sure how many qualifying spots there is, but if you're a PGA of America professional, there is.
I am that.
Shout out Spencer, real player over
I
here.
just missed the cut.
just missed it by a hair. But there's a certain amount of PGA pros that qualify for this event. So it's really incorporating golf in America, embodying the municipal courses. Like any PGA pro from any course, kind of like it's like the PGA version of the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
You take any PGA guy, they can make it. They can play in a major.
And so how does that work? So there's like regional tournaments, and you have to win those to get into a big tournament? or
So
what?
yeah, I think there's local qualifiers and then sectional qualifiers.
Okay.
For the to actually get into the PGA Championship.
Dude, we gotta get Spence in there.
Yeah.
We need to work Spence up all
We
next
need to
year
work
and just
on
get
his
his game in
game.
shape.
I don't know if I want to go out and shoot 85.
I don't care what you
Here's
want.
what we should do. You hand me your PGA card. I'll go out there identifying as you. If I qualify for the PGA Championship, I'll let you go out there and shoot a couple of 100s. They'll be like, how did this guy qualify for this fucking event? No, but it would be kind of cool. It really would be.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't be. It would be fucking embarrassing.
It'd be so much fun.
I'm sitting here talking shit about John Daly shooting 85, 86. If I would have played in this tournament, I would have probably shot 52 on the front nine and WD.
WD.
Back in.
That's when you accidentally step on like a tuft of grass and twist your ankle. You're like, oh
Yep.
shit, I'm out. Like, you hit the ground out of nowhere. You say you got vertigo. There's so many different excuses you could use.
It's nice to see
Sam
though.
Burns, who's been hot, had to withdraw from this due to a back injury. He shot 41 through 5. He was at 41.
Was he one of my picks?
No,
Oh,
luckily.
okay. I picked him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
really
let's
quick.
talk
Just
about
get
our
that,
picks.
Get that over with. So Rory McIlroy fully choked on everything that he had this week.
He did.
And he fooled me. He fooled me because he won the Wells Fargo a couple weeks ago.
He had you all in.
Because he won. So he won the PGA Championship at Kiowa in 2012, I believe.
2011,
2012.
Yeah.
So 10 years ago, a long time, but he's coming back to a place he's already won. He's playing good golf. He won a couple weeks ago. And he had me suckered in, and he was the favorite. You don't bet favorites in golf.
You do not bet
No.
favorites in golf. Abram Ancer was almost my guy this week, and obviously hindsight's 2020 on the top 10. And even just like odds in golf are so weird too, because they just put the top players in the world at the top of the odds list every week.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this can't, like John Rahm's not going to top 10 every week, and they have him in the top 10 of the odds every single week. Like borderline minus odds for like a top 10. I'm like, that value is terrible.
Again, that's why I love my strategy, where it's like we're gonna pick somebody. It's gonna be Colin Morikawa. If it maybe Justin Thomas, but it's probably gonna be Colin Morikawa.
Oh.
And the next day you look at the leaderboard and you're like, okay,
So you pick somebody else?
Where's some value right here? And
Okay.
it gives you a chance to go look at the value. And usually DraftKings gives you like a profit boost for each round, and it just works really well.
Golf is actually very electric to bet on.
It is. It is.
It's a lot of fun, and getting a big payout like that, unbelievable. Let's talk about Justin Thomas, how bad he played. What'd he finish at?
He was rough. So I'll tell you a little story. One of my buddies who does DraftKings, and first, let me just tell you guys about DraftKings Sportsbook.
Good idea.
So it is now playoff time, and Nuggets are in the playoffs, Avs are in the playoffs, and DraftKings is putting you courtside with a chance to win 200, basically turn $5 into 200, 40 to 1 odds on any playoff team in the NBA playoffs. So you want to bet the Brooklyn Nets next time they play the Boston Celtics, you're turning $200. You're turning $5 into $200. So that's right. Pick any team that is in contention. You bet $500, and that team wins. You cash $200 in free credits. Oh, the Avs are trying to roof one, and Jordan Binnington is just
Very
killing
intense
us.
moment in the hockey game right now for those who aren't watching.
So all it takes to claim 40-1 odds on your basketball team winning is place a $5 bet on that team, and that team has to win. DraftKings Sportsbook offers great odds and promotions on baseball, hockey, and so much more during the whole week. You check out the DNVR Bets show. They give you winners all the time. I think they're on some like crazy run since the beginning of March. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable, and you can deposit and withdraw funds at your convenience. I know I had to withdraw some funds last week, pay a little credit card bill off, and I did it. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use that promo code DNVR and turn $5 into $200 in free credits when the basketball team of your choosing, Nuggets in Game 2 against Portland, that's a good bet, takes the win. Must be 21 or older, Colorado only, new customers only, and the wager is paid out in site credits. Restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. All right, back to our picks real quick before we get into JT, because I have another guy I want to talk about that played really well this week and maybe on his way back. So we had Rory McIlroy, choke job.
Yep.
We had Daniel Berger, absolute choke job. He made the cut, and then he finished at a cool, I believe, 10 over.
It's a hot weekend.
10 over. He shot 76 today.
He must have been out in Charleston a little
Victor
too much
Hovland
the
shot
other
1
night.
under today, but he absolutely choked yesterday and shot 75, so he took himself out of it because he was leading for a while. So I thought
That was one of our
Hovland.
picks, yeah.
Yeah, both of us took Hovland. I took Rory. Daniel Berger was not good. Mitchell's pick Cameron Champ. He was like 22 over in the
Good
first
Lord,
2 rounds.
that was the worst pick I've made a lot of bad picks. That was the worst one I've ever made.
I think he was
22.
5 or 6 over through his front 9, and it was just
That's a lot. It
Somehow
sounds like he was
downhill
5
from
or
there.
6 over through every 9 he played
Exactly.
before the weekend
Yeah.
started.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly. And then Gary Woodland, who really gave it to us today.
I'm never betting on him.
We had him top 10 plus 700.
What a tease.
He
Yes.
was 2 under heading into the day. He was sitting at 6th place. He made 2 birdies in his first 3 holes to get to 4 under. And he was solidly in 2nd place. I actually had a cash out on my win for him. I had $5 to win $455 on him winning the tournament. And there was a
take it?
cash out for $15, but he was 4 under, and the leaders were at 6 at that point. So I was like, "Oh, I'll take this." Like, it's
Dude's won a U.S. Open, you know? When nobody bet on him, I'm sure. But, yeah, our picks did not do very well at all. Who else did I have? I had Champ, Hovland,
and Woodland.
and Woodland.
Yeah,
okay.
and I had Hovland, Rory, and Berger. So
I almost took Christian Bezuidenhout, and nobody knows who the hell that is. I watched some European Tour golf. He's been playing really well this year, and it would have been a flyer pick, but I think he finished top 10. I'm almost positive.
Harry Higgs did, and I love that dude.
Yeah,
Big Harry Higgs.
very
guy.
relatable for me. But I think Bezuidenhout.
No, he shot 77 today and finished 30th.
Good Lord, what happened? He was I think he was -1 like halfway through today.
Yeah, he shot 2 over. Well, yes, 2 over for the tournament, 77 today.
Oh, wow.
One last guy I want to talk about before we get out of here. Ricky Fowler. Is he back? Like, this was...
He's not back.
Dude, this was one of the toughest courses. According to Bryson DeChambeau, the toughest course they play on tour. And he shot 1 under for the tournament. Finished on Sunday with a cool little 71. He shot 69 yesterday. He shot 76 on Friday. Otherwise, he's right up there. Is he? I mean, he's been bad. Like, he's been missing cuts bad. So is him finishing T8 in a major at Kiawah a good? Is he back?
I'll keep an eye on him. I'm not putting money on him. I'm more excited to watch him going forward. But no, I'm not ready to say he's back because he was solid. You know, you gotta do something, or at least string together a couple of performances like this to make me think like, okay, something worth betting on is on the way.
That's the difference between him and Phil Mickelson. When Phil comes out of nowhere and he wins, Ricky comes out of nowhere and finishes T8. Like that's
a good point.
the difference.
Yeah, that's a
What,
really
what do
good
we
point.
think of Phil now? Are we betting on Phil going forward?
I think this is like his ride off into the sunset. I think he's just going to shit on everyone on the Champions Tour from here on out.
Well,
he might just call it a day.
But doesn't
and
he
play in the majors?
But doesn't he still have to win a
U.S. Open.
U.S. Open?
Yeah.
So now
He'll keep his game in shape for that.
Yeah, is Phil not the favorite, but is he a guy we look at to bet on in the U.S. Open? Because he's won, I believe today was his 5th major.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
6th
major.
6th, yep. That's right.
It was a 6th major,
Yeah.
but he still has never won. He doesn't have the Grand Slam. And Jordan Spieth was going for the Grand Slam today, this week, I should say. Today he was out of it, but he was going for the Grand Slam this week. Now Phil's got another PGA Championship under his belt, but Phil Mickelson, early U.S. Open favorite, maybe early U.S. Open
definitely
favorite?
you throw a few bucks on him, like if he is major hunting this year, and he's got those kind of vibes rolling, you throw a few bucks on him.
Well, and I think, like you said, I think that's what he's going to do almost the rest of his career is he's going to play in the big events, he's going to play in the majors, but then he's going to kick it on the Champions Tour and shoot 24 under every
For
week
3 days.
and win.
Yep.
Yeah.
And maybe like he'll play some PGA Tour events in the lead up to the big stuff.
He'll probably just pick out
Yeah.
what he likes, play
Yep.
on the PGA Tour, and then the Champions Tour is just so much relaxed and low key. Like if you can go make $500K a week on the Champions Tour, you probably wouldn't turn that down.
No.
That doesn't sound horrible. So
I would do it.
Yeah, I'd probably take that. It's kind of a tough choice, but I'd probably do that. So, I definitely think that he's somebody to watch out for. Where's the U.S. Open this year? Why am I totally blanking on that?
Give me
We
one
need
second.
we need
I don't know.
stats guy to tell us where the U.S. Open is this
I think
year.
it's at Winged Foot.
No, I don't. It was at Winged Foot last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
The U.S. Open in 2021 is at
Torrey Pines,
Torrey Pines.
the South Course. at
That's
Torrey
where
Pines.
it is.
Yeah.
And Phil plays well there.
Phil plays really well there. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Phil, we're all in on early
Let's
bet.
do it.
Put your bet in for Phil Mickelson.
I was gonna bring up one more quick topic. Who do we like going into the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines? Because that's the next major. Early predictions.
Well, I don't know. It's going to be tough to win at the same place twice in a year, and I was a sucker, and he played bad this week, but I'm going to be in on Daniel Berger. He just won there. He won at Torrey Pines. I know it's a different course, and they're going to set it up differently for the U.S. Open, but he just won there not a month ago, so he's got to be a favorite going in there. Who else played really well at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am?
Pebble Beach Pro.
Not the
The Farmers Insurance.
Farmers Insurance.
Who won it? Was it Hovland?
It was Berger that won it.
Oh, it was Berger that won it.
Hovland
Did
was
Hovland
up there.
played pretty good?
Nate Lashley was playing pretty good until he had that blow up. So.
I definitely think that Victor Hovland is going to win a major either this year or next year.
Dude, I keep betting him.
He's too good. He hits the ball too well week in, week out. He will be there.
And
he needs to get rid of that one below average round, and he will win a major in the next year or two.
And he had a very relatable moment on Friday. I don't know if you guys saw that, where he was trying to hit a shot. He had like 4 different stances, and he literally, like, with a smile on his face, like Victor always does, he goes, "Well, this could be fun." And his caddy's like, "No." And he's like, "How much to clear the crap?" And that went like viral on Twitter because that sounds like us. It's like, all right, how much?
Give me a number.
Yeah, give me a number that I at least have to hit it.
Yep.
I know the flag's 220, but if I get it 140, is it going to clear it?
And I will say that Victor's weakest point in his game is his chipping. So if you're watching this, you can give me a shout. I can hook you up with some chipping lessons.
Victor,
we can get your game in order. We can get you in majors.
All right, so before we get out of here, guys, thanks for joining us as always. We hope you enjoyed that PGA Championship. You all witnessed history today. It was an electric Sunday with Brooks and Phil taking leads and retaking leads back and forth. That's almost never happens. The Masters was fun this year, but it was a blowout. Phil made it close at the end, which was fun, but the whole day, Brooks was up, Phil was up, Brooks was up, Phil was up. So that's what we like to see.
Very entertaining.
Entertaining
It's
golf.
fun when one of the stars is winning. It's really fun because Phil is just on a different level than just about anybody else right now.
Yeah, 90% of people that don't play golf, 95% maybe, they know the name
They
Phil
tuned
Mickelson.
in. They heard that Phil was leading going in the back nine. They
Our
turned on the
mom,
TV.
who never watches golf, texted us a little earlier and said, "Go Phil." And she's older, so she probably.
And also, big shout out to all the boomers out there. This is a big up to you.
Yeah, big. It was
We
the
love you.
50 plus AARP energy.
You can still do things.
Phil Mickelson.
you can still
Phil
achieve
Mickelson
great
with
things.
the AARP energy.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right, so
absolutely.
before we get out of here, though, you guys go join the golf league. Join the DNVR Golf League. We're all going to be there each week.
Yeah.
It's 8 weeks. It's
going to be an
red
absolute
hot.
blast.
Fossil Trace, Spring Valley, Common Ground. We're going to have a blast. We're going to come to the bar afterwards, hopefully watch parties still for teams in the playoffs.
Yep.
The Avs are still going to be there 100%. They're about to sweep the Blues. They're moving on. We're going to have contests each week. We're going to have a grand prize for the end. So join the golf league. Go to thednvr.com and sign up. Follow me on Twitter at Big Drive Spence, him at Big Drive Mitch, Henry at Henry Chisholm. That's CHISOLM.
HOLM every time, damn it.
Chisholm.
CHISHOLM. Is that not what I said? I screwed it up.
No.
My bad. At Henry Chisholm. He's awesome. He always joins us. We were watching the PGA together today as everyone's watching the Avs because we just love golf. So follow us on Twitter at DNVR_golf. Appreciate you all. We'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.